this morning, so I decided to take it right now, and thought it would be great for me just to go on live as per usual, and just basically reiterate the subject of the live that I'm gonna post soon, and what it was about. So we were talking with a girl on here about self concept. Her name is Just Bree. She's on TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, go ahead and run over there and I'll follow the TikTok. All the fun stuff are over there. So we were talking about how no matter how pretty you are, everybody has a standard. Everybody has a self concept. And when you have a standard as a self concept, like standards are based off of your self concept, right? Standards are basically what you think you deserve and you should get from men, right? And self concept is the reason why you think you deserve those standards. And the more you work on your self concept, the better your standards. That's what I think. Because when you understand the concept of yourself, you improve your value. And when you improve your value, it's just like, think about it like this, right? You have a resume. When you get out straight out of college, your resume just has your, actually, when you get out straight out of high school, your resume just has your high school diploma. After your high school diploma, you have no job experience, nothing. So most companies will not take you. You have no experience. After your high school diploma, you get your college diploma, right? Now you're starting to look a little bit appetizing in the marketplace, right? Even though you still don't have that experience, but you have the qualification, right? Can you see how you increasing in the marketplace? All right, and then fast forward, you get your first job, even if it's an intern or whatever your first job is. You get your first job. Now you put that first job in your resume, whether it's your first month or your last month, etc. But you already have some form of experience. Now, when people start to headhunt for people, or when you start to submit your resume, you have your high school, your college, your hello, your high school, your college, and now you have this little bit of experience. So it's the same thing with working on your self concept. You start off on, I'm taking my walk, and I thought it would be great for me to just come on live. So the same thing as dating. You start off with zero self concepts, not knowing your value in the dating world. Then you start to work on your inner self. You start to work on your mindset. You do meditations. You do visualizations on what you want to see, and that's how your standards increase and they change in the dating scene. It's all based on what you put into yourself. So the reason why I made an example of the resume is because initially in the resume you start with nothing. Is there any tips I really like a girl? Work harder. How old are you? You gotta impress girls. If you really like her, impress her. Buy her something. Take her out on a date. Show effort. That's most ways to attract. Most ways in the 15. You're 15? Oh no. The- Go back to school. Focus on school. So that's just how it is in the dating scene. You improve based on how you work on yourself, right? Now, if you go and look at my bio, I have a a journal that you can work on your self concept. It's so important to learn about your mindset, learn about what you think you deserve. Because let me tell you something: how you know what you deserve is based on what is happening currently in your life, right? Everything that's happening in your life, good or bad, is based on what you believe you deserve. That's your self concept, right? Let me make an example. There are some girls that believe that when a guy takes them out to dinner, that's like the best thing that could happen to them, right? And then you go to another girl who's like, well, so he didn't send you a car? In her mind, she deserves a car based on her self concept. Like, if a guy wants me to be out, he has to take a car or give me a car. So, can you see there's a difference? right? And then you'll find a girl who's like, well, if he doesn't buy me a dress or buy me a pair of shoes, I'm not going on the date. There are different levels to self concept. The more you work on yourself and you understand your value, the better your standards and your self concept. So we were going on and talking about that, about how a lot of women think just being pretty is enough for you to get any guy and be spoiled. So, let me tell you, being pretty is what is the bait. Yeah, being pretty is the bait. So you will reel in the guy, but when the guy is there, even if he's a multimillionaire, if you don't have a self concept or haven't worked on yourself, that guy is not gonna do nothing for you. Cause you're gonna feel like you're not worthy of being spoiled. You're gonna be afraid of asking. You're gonna feel like if you set your standards, he might leave. You're gonna feel like, what if I? You're gonna have a scarcity mindset. So you gotta work on your mind. That's the only way you can improve what you want. And here's how you do it, right? I know everybody's saying you gotta work on your mind, da da da, affirmations, etc. Here's the thing: I love affirmations, absolutely love affirmations. But with the affirmations, once you stop, you might reverse back to your old personality. So the reason why I'm saying concept, self concept, is because you need to change everything about you as a person. Change how you see yourself, change how you think, and not temporarily. You need to make that as a permanent decision that moving forward from this day on, I no longer tolerate certain things. That's how you change your self concept. And you don't say that one time, you repetitively say that to yourself, no matter what your outside world looks like. It's a bit loud and because that's how you evolve and become a better person, by educating yourself and telling yourself. And let me tell you, when you're doing this internal work, keep it to yourself. You don't need other people telling you what's right and what's wrong. You don't need other people's tips. You don't need other people confusing you. Work on this. This should be your own private project. This should be your own private project, right? Work on your mind. Dive deep. Okay, because I get, being a social media person, I get a lot of messages from people saying, well, for example, with dating, well, I can never find a man that can spoil me like this and that. Then you will never find. Why would you find something you don't believe you deserve? And self concept comes in the aspects of, when did you start thinking you deserve it? When you look at someone else that's receiving it, what makes you feel like you less than a person or than the person that's receiving it? You see, that means you have a low self concept of yourself. You don't believe you are worthy of it. So how do you find this out? You sit down, you journal. Ask yourself these questions. When you look at someone's life and you're envious of their life, ask yourself, why do I think they can get it and I can't? Those are the things that are going to pop up and show you where you're going wrong in life. Once you made that list of things that you feel like are the reasons why you can't get what the other person is getting, sit with it and ask yourself, when did I start even thinking like this? How come this person can do? Because here's the thing, we all have some form of limiting belief. Everybody, no matter how popular, no matter how great the person, everybody has some form of limiting belief that they need to overcome. It's just part of the human nature. Once you overcome your self belief with dating, there will be something else you need to do. That's just the cycle of life. So when we spoke about that, and this girl was also just Brie was just explaining that she was living, in the ghetto, but she started working on herself after she started following me, which made her start to want to work on her mindset. And once she started working on her mindset, opportunities just started to avail themselves. Because when you work on yourself, you start to see the world in a different light. You start to see opportunities that you couldn't see before. I can sit here and tell you about dating till I'm blue in the face, but if you don't believe you are worthy of being taken care of and treated right as a person, based off of your past experience. You will always get that. You will always get that. But anyways, I want to start running. I thought I would just share with y'all our intense TikTok live because I felt like it was such a life changing conversation that I have been telling people about. But people have a way to select what they want. So I'm gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna see y'all next time.